All right, so today we're diving into a story that I think a lot of our listeners probably remember pretty vividly.
Yep.
It's a two-parter
Oh, yeah.
from season 2 of The X-Files. It starts with an episode called Duane Barry. And I think you flagged this one for us, actually.
I did.
Which, and reading through the stuff that you sent me, I can totally see why.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. We've got some behind-the-scenes stuff, some, kind of summaries of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So the mission today is to kind of unpack all that and see what we can find out about this episode that made it so significant.
Okay.
So it originally aired in October of 1994.
Wow.
And this is Chris Carter's directorial debut.
That's right.
So it's the first episode that he ever directed.
Yeah, and he wrote and directed.
Yeah, so this is it's a big deal.
It's a huge one, yeah.
And it throws us right into a hostage situation with this guy, Duane Barry, who is a psychiatric patient.
Right.
And he claims that he is terrified of alien abductions,
Right.
which of course brings in Mulder.
Yeah, Mulder's there.
And so the deep dive today is not only going to be about, this immediate hostage crisis, but also how Duane Barry's claims kind of fit into the whole bigger picture.
The mythology?
Yeah, exactly, of the whole show.
Yeah, that's what I'm so excited to dive into.
Yeah, so let's start out with just kind of a summary of what happens in this episode, Duane Barry.
Okay.
So we open up, and Duane Barry is in a mental institution.
Right.
And he breaks out.
Yeah, he takes his psychiatrist hostage.
Yeah, violently escapes.
Yeah.
And his whole goal is to be taken back to the spot where he was first abducted.
Yeah.
And he wants to essentially offer up this psychiatrist.
Right, in his place.
Yeah.
In exchange.
As a trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, it's terrifying right from the beginning.
Yeah, totally. But he can't remember where this abduction site is.
That's right. Yeah. He's really struggling.
So he ends up taking hostages at a travel agency.
Yeah.
And this is where Mulder gets called in.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you sent me talks about the behind the scenes notes that Chris Carter was making.
Yeah, he wrote it down.
Yeah, and he's he shows up in a Speedo.
It says, Mulder arrives in a Speedo, chest hair visible.
Yeah. It's what?
I love that so much.
This is an FBI agent responding to a hostage situation.
Well, I guess he was out swimming. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
that's what it says.
I guess so, but all right, put some pants on, man.
I guess so. But it also kind of speaks to just how little warning he was given.
Yeah.
He's just out living his life.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, boom, hostage situation.
Called in.
You got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he ends up, talking to Duane Barry.
Yeah.
Tries to connect with him over, these claims of alien abduction.
Right. And I think that's such a key part of Mulder's character is that
Yeah.
he's so willing to believe
Yeah.
that it kind of lets him connect with these people in ways that
Other people wouldn't be able to.
he meets them where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, which that's a whole other thing to unpack, right?
Yeah.
How much of that is really him wanting to connect with people and how much of that is him wanting to believe so badly that he's willing to just kind of overlook anything?
Yeah, is this about him or is this about them?
Yeah.
Or both?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, he's in there, he's talking to him, he's trying to connect with them, and then all of a sudden there's this bright light in the sky.
Oh, yeah. It's really weird.
And there's a blackout.
Yeah.
And it freaks Duane Barry out.
Oh, yeah.
It really freaks him out.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if you were in that mental state?
Yeah.
And then something that you believed was true suddenly seems to be playing out in front of you?
Right.
It would be terrifying.
Yeah, totally. So he ends up shooting one of the hostages.
Yeah.
And this is where Mulder really kind of steps up and puts himself in harm's way.
Yeah, he dresses up as a paramedic and he goes in.
Yeah.
He sneaks in.
Yeah.
And actually ends up trading himself for the wounded hostage. So
Yeah.
he's now a hostage.
Yeah.
And he actually tells Duane Barry about Samantha.
Right.
Which is huge.
Yeah, that's his deepest, darkest secret.
Yeah.
And he's sharing it with this guy.
With this random hostage taker.
Yeah. A complete stranger.
I don't know, man.
But also someone who claims to have been abducted as well.
Right.
So there's that connection.
Yeah, there is a connection there, but it's still a huge risk.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So while all this is going on, Scully's back at FBI headquarters.
Yeah, she's doing what she does best.
Yeah, she's researching.
Researching, yeah.
And she finds out that Duane Barry used to be an FBI agent.
Yeah, which, that's already kind of interesting.
It's pretty crazy.
But it's not the craziest part.
Yeah, no, it gets crazier. She finds out that he had been shot in the head.
Yeah, in 1982.
Yeah.
And she specifically notes that it was in the same area of the brain as Phineas Gage.
Yeah, which, like, okay. For anyone who doesn't know, Phineas Gage is this guy who, like, back in the 1800s, got a tamping iron,
Yeah.
like, blown through his head.
Through his skull.
Yeah, and it, like, completely changed his personality.
Yeah, he went from being, like, a really nice, mild-mannered guy
Yeah.
to being, like, aggressive and unreliable and just a totally different person.
A totally different person, yeah.
So, I mean, what are they trying to tell us here?
Well, I mean, I think that Scully is looking for a rational explanation.
Okay, yeah.
She's saying, like, okay, maybe it's not aliens.
Mhm.
Maybe it's just this brain damage
Yeah.
that's causing him to have these, like, delusions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So she tries to warn Mulder.
Right, using their little hidden communication device.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who knows if he even gets the message?
Well, and even if he does, is he going to believe it?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
He's so deep in there with this guy.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, Duane Barry, he ends up telling Mulder all about these, like, really vivid abductions. Yeah, he says they're doing all these medical experiments on him.
Yeah, drilling his teeth with lasers.
Yes.
Sticking implants all over his body.
Yeah.
In his teeth, in his sinuses, and his abdomen.
Yeah, it's really intense. And, I mean, it's classic alien abduction stuff, right?
Yeah, totally. So he ends up letting the other hostages go.
Right.
But, of course, the FBI is, like, not having it.
No.
And a sniper takes him out.
Yeah.
Shoots him.
Yeah.
And they take him to the hospital, and when they're examining him, they find implants.
Yeah, exactly where he said they would be.
Exactly where he said they'd be.
Yeah.
So, like, what does that mean?
Well, it kind of throws Scully's whole brain damage theory out the window, doesn't it?
Right.
I mean, unless the government's going around implanting people as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is the X-Files, so
Anything's possible.
anything's possible, but it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely significant that they found these implants.
Yeah.
And they also find these, like, tiny holes in his teeth. Like, he said they had been drilling his teeth with lasers.
Yeah, so either he's telling the truth
Right.
or someone's getting into a lot of trouble to make it look like he is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they take this weird, like, jagged piece of metal out of his abdomen.
Right.
And they do all these tests on it.
Yeah.
And the scientists are like, we have no idea what this is.
Yeah, they said it can't be created with any known technology.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
And there's these, like, weird microscopic lines on it that look like a barcode.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Which is creepy, right?
Yeah, super creepy. Like, why a barcode?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to track someone, why not just use, like, a microchip or something?
Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Really weird.
So Scully being Scully, right?
Yeah.
She's at the grocery store,
Uh-huh.
and she decides to scan this thing.
Oh, no.
I know.
What happens?
The cash register goes haywire.
What?
Yeah, it just, like, freaks out.
Sounds like messing with electronics or something.
Yeah, it's like this weird electromagnetic pulse or something.
That's so creepy.
I know, it's so creepy.
So are they going to figure out what this thing is?
Well, they're working on it, but in the meantime, Duane Barry wakes up in the hospital.
Oh, no.
I know.
What does he do?
He sees aliens, and he freaks out, and he escapes.
He escapes again.
He escapes again.
Wow.
Yeah.
This guy's good.
I know.
Yeah.
So Scully has left a message for Mulder,
Okay.
telling him about all this weird stuff that she found out about the implant.
Yeah.
And she's in her apartment.
Uh-huh.
And Duane Barry is outside her window.
Oh, my God.
I know.
What is he doing there?
We don't know.
How did he find her?
We don't know.
Oh, this is so creepy.
I know.
So what happens?
He breaks in, and that's the end of the episode.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So they leave us hanging?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I hate cliffhangers.
I know.
Yeah. But this is a good one.
It's a really good one.
It makes you want to just, like, immediately watch the next episode.
Right. Like, what happened to Scully?
Yeah.
What's Duane Barry going to do?
Yeah.
Are aliens involved?
Yeah. Are those really alien implants?
There's just so many questions.
So many questions. Yeah.
So let's talk about some of this, like, behind the scenes stuff.
Okay.
So as we said, this is Chris Carter's directorial debut.
Yeah. First time directing.
First time ever directing.
And he wrote it too. So,
Yeah.
like, what a way to start your directing career.
Right.
Yeah. With a two-parter that's, like, super intense and really important to the mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the character of Duane Barry is actually inspired by real people.
Yeah. Real abductees.
Yeah, like Whitley Strieber.
Right. The guy who wrote Communion.
Yeah.
And then also Barney and Betty Hill.
Yeah.
Who are, like, super famous in the UFO world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of creepy, right?
Oh, yeah. Super creepy. Like, it's one thing to have this fictional character talking about alien abductions.
Yeah.
But then to know that he's based on real people who claim to have experienced these things.
Yeah, it just kind of like adds this extra layer of like
Reality, yeah.
Yeah, is this real?
Yeah, is any of this real?
Could this really happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have to talk about Steve Railsback, who plays Duane Barry.
Oh yeah, he's so good.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's known for playing some pretty intense character.
You played Charles Manson.
Like Charles Manson.
Come on. If
Yeah.
you're going to cast someone as a potentially abducted, mentally unstable
Right.
hostage taker,
Yeah.
that's the guy.
That's your guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he brings this like really unsettling energy to the role.
Oh yeah, he's so believable.
Yeah.
You really believe that he's terrified.
Yeah.
Even when he's doing these horrible things.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because this episode, Duane Barry, was originally supposed to be just a standalone episode.
Yeah.
But then Gillian Anderson got pregnant. Yeah.
So they had to write her out of the show for a while.
Yeah, and they decided to use this episode as a way to do that.
Okay.
So they turned it into this two-parter, and it leads directly into the next episode.
Right. Ascension.
Yeah.
Where Scully gets abducted.
Yes.
Which is like a huge turning point in the series.
huge turning point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like this real life event
Yeah.
changed the entire course of the show.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
And one other thing I thought was really interesting was that the hostage negotiation scenes were actually based on real FBI tactics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they brought in real FBI negotiators
Wow.
to kind of consult on those scenes,
That's cool.
which, I mean, I think it just adds this other layer of like authenticity to the episode.
They just feel more real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously Mulder, he doesn't always follow those tactics exactly,
No.
but I think that's part of what makes him such a good negotiator.
Right. He's willing to break the rules.
Yeah, he's willing to like go out on a limb. Yeah.
And also, I mean, the whole thing with the metal implant that they find in Duane Barry's abdomen that really like echoes these real world conspiracy theories about government tracking devices and stuff.
Yeah, like are they putting microchips in people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the fact that it has this like barcode on it just adds this whole other layer of like
Powerful.
weirdness.
Yeah.
Like why a barcode?
Yeah, like if you're going to track someone, why not use a microchip?
Right.
Yeah, it's so strange.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
And this episode also gives us one of the first like really vivid depictions of an alien abduction.
Yeah, like from the victim's point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they really go all out with the visuals.
Yeah, the bright lights and the strange medical experiments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the aliens themselves.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah, super creepy.
And it really kind of sets the stage for how alien abductions are going to be portrayed in the show.
Yeah, it kind of establishes the visual language for these encounters.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as you can see this episode, Duane Barry, it wasn't just like a one-off thriller.
Yeah.
It was really like a cornerstone in the whole mythology of the X-Files.
Yeah, it introduced so many important elements that would be explored later on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Scully's abduction.
Right.
The government's involvement in alien experimentation.
Right.
The use of implants as tracking devices.
Yeah.
Like it's all there.
It's all there in this one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
And the fact that Chris Carter got an Emmy nomination for writing this episode, I mean, that really says something.
Yeah, it shows you how impactful it was.
Yeah, it's a really well-written episode.
Yeah.
It's suspenseful.
Uh-huh.
It's thought-provoking.
Yeah.
It's just a great episode of television.
Yeah, it really is.
So as we kind of like wrap up our deep dive into Duane Barry, I mean, it's clear that this is so much more than just a hostage situation.
Yeah.
Right? It's about belief.
Yeah.
It's about trauma. It's about the nature of reality.
Yeah.
And it really makes you question, like, what is real?
Yeah.
What isn't real?
And how do we know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think Duane Barry is a really important episode of the X-Files.
Yeah.
And it's one that has really stayed with me.
Yeah.
Even all these years later.
Yeah.
I think it's a great example of how the show was able to blend these like really intense thriller elements
Yeah.
with these bigger questions about the nature of reality and our place in the universe.
Totally.
Yeah.
So what are we left with?
I think we're left with the question of what happens next.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
what's going to happen to Scully?
Yeah.
What are Mulder and the rest of the FBI going to do about Duane Barry?
Yeah.
And are we ever going to find out what those implants really are?
Exactly.
Yeah, so many questions.
So many questions.
But I guess that's what makes the X-Files so great.
Right.
Yeah, it keeps you guessing.
It keeps you guessing. And it makes you think.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening to this deep dive into Duane Barry.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
All right, see you then.
Bye.